Well, if you're looking to sell your motorcycle or a motorcycle, I wanted to take this opportunity and pass along some information that I recently learned. Hey everyone, my name is Ty. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for jumping in and hanging out with me for a few minutes today. So I recently went to a trip with some buddies of mine. We went up to Kentucky. We did a whole motorcycle trip, a lot of fun and that type of thing. But also I had, in addition to this Road Glide, I had a Low Rider ST. I didn't take it to Kentucky, but I had a Low Rider ST. And so I got up there with some buddies of mine, and Bob, many of you guys know him as Bodine 52. We were just kind of chit-chatting, and I don't know who mentioned it first, but he mentioned he was kind of thinking about selling his Road King Classic. I mentioned I was thinking about selling my Low Rider ST, and so we just decided we were just going to weigh it out, see what was best for each of us, and then, you know, potentially pull the trigger. So Bob decided he was going to hang on to his Road King. If I said Road Glide, I apologize. His Road King. And me, I decided, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot. Try to sell this Low Rider ST. And so one of the first things that I did, one of the first things that I would recommend that you do is just like real estate, right? You got to find comps. You got to find comparables. And so I went to the website of my local dealership, White Lightning Harley Davidson, to see if they had any Low Rider STs, what they were going for. Checked some other dealerships around the area to see what they were going for. And also went out to Cycle Trader. That is an excellent resource if you're just trying to price out a motorcycle. And then I found a price that I think that I could live with. Oh, I had to move my glasses up a little bit. Sorry about that. So I had to find a price that I think that I could live with. And one of the things that I would tell you is when you decide on that price, you know, everybody adds a little padding in there because, you know, when you're kind of wheeling and dealing, everybody wants to feel like they get a good deal. But definitely settle on a bottom dollar. A bottom dollar that you are not going to go below, right? I mean, you got to think, if I've got to sell it for X amount of dollars, I would rather just hang on to it. And when it came to that Low Rider ST, I set a pretty high price tag that I was comfortable with and knew that I would come down a little bit, but also knew that if I couldn't find a buyer at that particular price, I would be just fine with the bike sitting in the garage long term, and I would just ride it until whenever. Now this is pretty obvious, I would say, but if you've got, before you put the bike up for sale, if you have things on it that you can take off of there, that you can keep to transfer to another motorcycle, or maybe you just want to hang on to, you know, I say absolutely do that. On my Low Rider ST, I had this cool little phone holder that sat on the tank that I removed that and just bought a new little plate from eBay to put it back in that said Low Rider ST, that little plaque there. I think I had a derby cover that I took off and put the stock one or a blank one on. And oh my goodness, what, you know, there was lots of things that I left for sure, but those were some things that I took off. Oh yeah, I had a Saddleman seat with my YouTube logo stitched on there, and I mean, nobody's gonna want that, right? So I put the Harley Davidson Sundowner seat. And then once I got the bike exactly where I wanted it to be sold, I made lots of pictures, and not just, you know, I tried to make them the best that I could, not just pictures that you halfway think about, snap with your phone, those type of things, but I really wanted to make some good ones that would make a lasting impression if somebody was shopping for that particular motorcycle. And then, man, after that, I also made a video, a quick little video type of thing. But after that, I went to social media like a beast, right? And I put it on Facebook Marketplace. So I would recommend doing that because that's absolutely free. I put it on Facebook Marketplace. I made a little short or a reel for YouTube and Instagram. Made a full-length long-form video for YouTube. So I was lucky enough to be able to capitalize off of this platform, this YouTube platform that I have, and use that as a way to advertise. So if you don't have that, I would make a point to invest a little bit of money in advertising. And one of the ways, and I actually did this, and I lost a little bit of money on it. It's not a big deal, but I'll tell you why here in just a few minutes, is that I put an ad on Cycle Trader with this motorcycle. I just figured a lot of eyes are going to be on it if I do it that way, and I thought that was a good use of time and money. It turned out that about 7 to 9 days after I put it up on Cycle Trader, that I sold it, and I took it right back down. So, you know, $160, $170, I think, for the ad that I put out there, and then I had to take it down after I sold it. Kind of took a hit on that, but not a huge deal. So make a use out of any social media platforms, websites, those type of things that you can. Now, I have traded in a lot of motorcycles, but I haven't sold many, or any for that matter, just straight out, you know, for cash or that type of thing. And so this was my first experience doing it this particular way. So I had a lot of reservations, and I was nervous about a lot of things. So one of the things I did, I was like, reached out to family and friends, you know, just asking them, okay, what do I do if this guy says this, or if he says this, or, you know, kind of pushes back on price, and once we've agreed on something, you know. So I got some great information from family and friends. And here's one of the things that they told me, and they're absolutely right, and that's the main thing, is cash is king, right? Somebody comes walking in with a stack of bills, man, that is a good thing and the way to go. So if you can negotiate a cash price, you know, instead of if somebody's got to go for financing or that type of thing, that is the way to go. So the way that I was doing it is cash only. Cash only. Another way that you could do is a cashier's check, but man, if you get a cashier's check from somebody, make sure you meet them at whatever bank or credit union that is, and so that you can walk in there with them and validate that the funds are good. Golly bum, I read so many stories about people getting ripped off. Hold on, let's see if we can get past this guy. Yeah. But I've read so many stories about people getting ripped off when it came to those type of things. And watch out for the test ride. Oh man, I saw a lot of things too about people would show up. Yeah, I'd love to buy the bike. Hey, can I go for a test ride? And you don't get that cash in hand. You don't get some type of collateral. They hop on the bike, take off for a test ride, and you never see them again. I was petrified about that. Absolutely petrified about that. But everything went great with my experience, and I'll tell you about that here in just a second. Oh, what else? Now, this is some information that I recently learned, and this is the way it is in Tennessee. Check your local state, that type of things. But there's some documentation that you're going to need if you're going to sell a motorcycle, kind of best practices for cash in hand. Obviously, you're going to need the title, right? So look it up on your county website, your state website, exactly how that needs to be filled out, so you can be very, very precise in how to do those things. You've got to be so precise. Another thing with Tennessee that you need to do is have an odometer reading. So we had to print out some documentation, fill out the odometer reading. I, as the seller, had to sign it. The buyer had to sign it, those type of things. And also a bill of sale. Had to print out a bill of sale. I had to sign that. The buyer had to sign that, those type of things. And then something else that I saw a lot of people commenting when it comes to the bill of sale is to be sure to write sold as is with all defects, and, you know, sold as is, however you want to word it, that type of thing. And so I put that on the bill of sale when I sold my Low Rider ST as well. Now, let me tell you about this. Let me tell you about my experience. I had a great experience because the guy who bought my Low Rider ST was a subscriber. He was a viewer, so he knew about the motorcycle. He knew that I loved the motorcycle, babied that motorcycle, took great care of that motorcycle. And so he didn't really have to worry about, you know, maintenance, oil change, any of those type of things. As a matter of fact, we met over at White Lightning Harley Davidson in the parking lot to finish up on the sale. And when he got there, one of the things he told me, he said, man, Ty, I just wanted to tell you, I've never been more comfortable buying a motorcycle in all my life, because I know everything about this bike from the day you got it until today. I know everything about this motorcycle. So I thought that was really cool and a vote of confidence, you know, for me, that helped me feel a lot better. The guy showed up with cash. He showed up with an enclosed trailer, so he meant business, and I really appreciate him. He turned out to be just a really great guy, and I hope that sometime maybe he'll come rolling through Chattanooga on that Low Rider ST. We can get together and go for a ride. That'd be pretty cool, right? So if you are an expert in buying, selling, trading motorcycles, all those type of things, be sure to put a comment down below for somebody else that maybe they're going to visit this video and they're going to see some advice that you would give, and maybe you can help somebody out along the way. That's what happened to me. I looked up a lot of YouTube videos and read comments, and some of the advice in there was just awesome, was just spot on, and I appreciate that from a lot of the viewers and subscribers. So maybe we could do the same here as a community and help others out. I tell you what, I really appreciate your time so very much. I'm going to be going on vacation soon. When I get back, I've got a couple of video ideas that I'm going to get right to work on and provide some new, fresh content for this channel. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.